Hello and welcome to Gerety Talks. My name is Lucia Ongai and I am the co-founder of the Gerety Awards. Just like the awards, this series will put in the spotlight some of the industry true change maker within the aim to drive progress in the industry at a global scale. Today we have a very special guest from Lynk Co, who has been partnering with us in this Gerety Talks series. Nadine Bergquist, brand manager for Lynk Co, a mobility brand who takes pride in doing everything different from the car industry, finding new creative ways to communicate their messages. Nadine is a value-driven creativist with a 15-year-long background in communications and PR. She has broad experience from ethical brand Lush, where she started as Christmas temp and ended up in senior management via many different positions within the business, as well as from co-founding non-profit organization Rosenlundstödet. With a passion for communication and making sure tables have seats filled with voices from all walks of life, this in-house marketeer started out in the music industry, writing scores for movies, jingles, and performing her own music. Nowadays, however, she mostly sings strange made-up songs about ingredients while cooking for the kids. That
Yes.
sounds very interesting. Hi, Nadine, and thanks for
Hi.
joining us. Welcome to this Gerety Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very exciting.
So let's start with your brand, which is quite new. So Lynk Co is a new mobility brand addressing the needs and preferences of a global connected generation and challenging car industry conventions. Can you tell us about the brand and the concept and how you challenge the car industry conventions?
Yes, of course. As you say, we are quite new. We launched only in September 2020. So we just have a few months under the belt as sort of being operational. And a challenge within the car industry is that, cars have been the same more or less for the last 100 years, but everything else around it is changing, and so are people's needs. So the challenge was really to figure out, like, how does mobility look nowadays? What is it that people actually need? Do they need another car? Do they need another car company? And we found that the answer was no, they just need a different one. So that's what we're trying to do here, to offer something that really fits into people's lives, where the answer is maybe not owning your own car, but utilizing the ones that are out there. Because we found that on average, the usual car sits still for 96% of the time. And that's what we want to change. So we're all about putting people first and not the car, and making sure we build communities around car sharing so that we can utilize the things that we do have.
That 96% number that you just mentioned, which is quite impressive, I have to say. I had never thought it was that many that a car stood without being used. So it's actually the name of your campaign. Last September, you had an online event, which was called The Reveal, to present the brand with this campaign called 96%. So let's have a look at the campaign.
What if the world stood still for 96% of the time? What if we all just stopped? And the things made to move didn't. Cars sit unused for 96% of the time. But together, we can change that. Together, we'll move more, try more, play more, feel more, grow more, think more. care more, share more. It's time for a new way to car. Lynk Co.
So can you tell us about how the campaign was conceived?
Yeah, so the first sort of initial idea to launch the brand was to do some sort of guerrilla marketing and be very hands-on and go out and meet people. Then, of course, Corona happened and things needed to be rethought and edited. So there were a lot of conversations, and this was actually before I joined the company, but there were a lot of conversations about how to get the brand recognition out there. And they sort of circled back all the time to this 96% fact, and how amazing is not the word, but how horrible that is. And what if things stood still 96% of the time, things except for cars? Like, what would that look like? That would be ridiculous, right? So it was all based on that, and having quite a bold statement and not doing the traditional automotive thing where you put the car first and you show it off as the star, because to us, I mean, it's a damn good car that we have, but the star are the people, and we put people first. And there's a lot of room for creativity within our brand. So that's what we wanted to highlight, sort of the creative process and having a sense of hyper realism and really going out there and making a bold statement.
Great, and it actually looks quite impressive to see the images, like everything standing still. It reminds a little bit of the images that we saw at the beginning of the pandemic, where there was no people in the streets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we had such a lot about that.
Yeah, I think we had a great cooperation with our production agency that we've teamed up with, Halal and Caroline Koning, to come up with this great creative concept. So we're really, really happy with it, and the sort of poetic visuals and the hyper-realism that it showed. And the feedback was really good from the customers.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah. Yes, we got quite a lot of good response, and I think it really showed that people are ready for something else, something new. Like this old automotive industry, it needs to be shaken up, and people want to be part of something that feels a bit more modern and is more on their terms. So it was very well received, and of course also asked a lot of questions about, well, what will you then be offering? And that's what we need to start answering right now.
Okay. And Lynk Co has also clubs of their own as part of the experience, which I also think was a little bit shaken up by this pandemic, like everything else in our lives, basically.
Yes.
What is the purpose of them, and what kind of activities can you find in them? Maybe when this is over, or I don't know, maybe already doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the clubs are quite a central part of what we do, because we believe that we need to build communities. Communities is at the heart of what we do, and, you know, teaming up with other people and having conversations. If we work together, we can move forward together. So yes, the pandemic has sort of put a little pause on what we're originally thought to be offering at our clubs, which is, you know, events, lectures, talks, and things where people can meet and learn from each other and share experiences. So going forward, as soon as this is over, we're hoping to be able to welcome more people into our clubs and open more of them as well throughout Europe.
So far you have, I think, one in Gothenburg and one in Amsterdam, is that right?
Exactly. We first opened in Amsterdam in October, and Gothenburg now in January. And we have some more coming up along the line. So this will also be hubs where people can come and, of course, explore the car, because we will have a car within the club. But it's not your typical car showroom. It's very much about participating and sharing an experience around it.
And you say that the car is like different and great. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'm actually one of those people who don't even have a driver's license or any sort of car skills. But I've been in one, and it's a really, really nice car. It feels very safe. But we work with, you know, the best engineers out there. It's a good platform and a really nice designed car. Uh, that I think people will really like. And we're really anxious to get it out there on the roads for people to start test driving and yeah, try it out and see what they think.
And when is that planned to happen? More or less?
Quite soon, early spring, we're
Okay.
rolling out the first cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And what projects are you working on now?
Well, now it's all about, you know, showing what we're trying to offer and getting more specific. So we started out with the 96% campaign, explaining what is the problem and why we are here. And now to show sort of what it is that we're offering. And we've started a little bit with, I'm not sure if you've seen the non-experts present, but again, it's all about, you know, putting people first and showing that you don't have to be a car expert, understand what it is that we're offering. The car specs should be pretty straightforward and easily understandable for anyone like myself, for example. So we're working on smaller campaigns like that to show off our car, but in a completely new way. But then also bigger campaigns that we are about to shoot later in March that will be rolling out early spring as well.
And
Yeah.
do you plan on getting a driver's license soon so that you can test the car yourself?
Well, my mom keeps keeps heckling me about this, so I think I need to. I'm pretty excited. I've never been really interested in it, but now that I work here and I get to see the car, it's like a really good carrot dangling in front of me. So yeah, I really want to get my driver's license. I just gotta find the time to practice a little bit. Yeah.
And before coming to Lynk Co, you worked for 15 years in the cosmetic brand Lush, starting as Christmas extra shop staff and ending up as senior manager. So how did that experience prepare you for your role today?
It was a really good learning experience. In Sweden, it was also quite a small business. So it meant that I had to, you know, do a little bit of everything. So there's not a lot of areas that I haven't been touching on. So doing everything from like website management and newsletter, putting together social media, retail, just trying my hand at everything, I think has helped me become a better marketeer because I can understand the different needs of a complex business and all the different areas that need to go into a decision or a campaign and how that will work on a 360 sort of degree level. So it was very valuable. It was hard work working in such a small organization and doing it all. But I would not have changed that for the world because I've learned so much. So much. Then, of course, the cosmetics industry is something completely different from the automotive industry.
I can imagine.
but still, the way we do it here, it's quite similar. It's about putting, you know, people first, facing the needs of the customer rather than just focusing on a car. So, yeah, it goes quite well hand in hand, I think.
And you were also one of the founders of Rosenlundstödet, a volunteer organization helping street trafficked women. Sorry, I do it that again. A volunteer organization helping street trafficked women in Gothenburg. Can you tell us about the organization and your role there?
Yeah, so it started quite a few years ago in Gothenburg, where we were doing a DJ thing where we would DJ in clubs and donate all the revenue to local women's charities. And we met this woman who was out every Friday night in central Gothenburg, meeting up with the women who were working on the streets. And she shared with us the reality of what she was seeing and how she was, you know, struggling to make money to use to spend on condoms and, you know, sandwiches, doctor's appointments to help these women. So we decided to get involved, and we started an organization around it that pretty much meant just being there for the women where they are, giving them things that they need to stay safe, helping them, going to the doctors, filing police reports if necessary, and just being like a social network for them, because a lot of them probably wouldn't even know which city they were in. They were just, it was a horrible situation. So just having the time to take them to the movies or to go swimming, just doing something normal for a minute and letting them be humans. That was quite important. And we had some good progress with a few of them, with some actually getting out of the prostitution, and a good publicity globally, actually, which was quite interesting. But it was hard, and it was really eye-opening and valuable to be part of. It's a strange world out there, just around the corner from where we are. Yeah.
And you spoke about DJs like now, and you have also made music both as a live performing artist, but also wrote songs for movies and jingles. How would you describe your musical style? What are your influences?
I grew up on everything from soul to AC/DC and like Arabic music, North African style. So it's very mixed and weird and all over the place. But I guess I keep coming back to anything with sort of like a blues rhythm, anything a little dirty and not too overly produced, I guess is my style. And when I sing, it tends to be quite minimal. I always have these bombastic ideas about big productions and over the top, but then it just turns out being me and my guitar and 3 chords. So there's a dissonance there. But that was when I was younger and didn't have as many bills to pay. So venturing into the commercial world was more appealing, but equally as creative, I would say. It's pretty much the same, just a different tool than the voice.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, so thank you very much for joining us today and for letting us know about Lynk Co. And hope we have a great year this year, and you can carry on all the things that you had planned.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And please come visit whenever COVID allows. And we'll be looking forward to welcoming people into our clubs.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing more of your campaigns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.